Okay, guys, this is going to be my review of *Da 5 Bloods. Obviously, I watched this film because of the late great Chadwick Boseman, and his performance was great in this film. I think, yeah, I can't believe this is like his final film. He got to see it alive, and I mean, great performance again. I think he's only a supporting role, but his character is so important with this film where it's like he both inspires and kind of haunts the characters in this film, but it's very much these old men going back to revisit their war times, looking for his character. Where I think and the flashback sequences are great and just a well made film, where you can balance war with great drama and great adventure where they really had this sense of adventure where I love that you can mix war and adventure together by showing the flashbacks of Vietnam War filmed in that handheld camera format that would be around in the 70s, to make in 70s 60s to make it feel more authentic and whatnot. But yeah, also again, these stuff with the adventure that they went on was still also great, too, where they're after the gold, and I love these different the characters. What I love is also the character development is very much there, and how they develop the characters along with the story. And so it's like you can also get so many great powerful just moments throughout the film. It really makes it such a great thing, such a great, again, just film overall, where you can really just find such great enjoyment. But I think it definitely makes a whole new perspective watching this film, knowing Chadwick Boseman was battling cancer for this film, because constantly I would pay attention, and honestly, you could tell from his voice, where it's you feel that almost raspy sense in his voice in some ways. But he was so great in this film, and I love that whole flashback sequence with the main character and Boseman's character, who's Stormin Norman. But again, they really balance that adventure part of it, seeking gold and kind of they all end up a lot of them die, and it's sad because again they really get the chemistry between the group, and it really is a gut punch. To to see them all die, especially the main character dying and him singing a song and knowing his time has come, but yet feeling, because I think part of that PTSD thing is because he shot Stormin. I think he had to live with that, and I think you see the struggle of these characters, because again, because this is not about the Vietnam War, it's about the effects the Vietnam War has on these soldiers. It really sends a strong message where it's all the main character wants is just solace. He wants more or less confirmation and closure to him accidentally killing Stormin, which haunts him. Where it's it inspires him, and you really do. And I think part of that greatness of the flashbacks is you see that the Storm and Norman inspire the characters, on top of the great war scenes, but how that inspiration keeps following these characters as well as haunts these characters, particularly this main character, Paul. And Paul really is the main character of this film, but rightfully so, because you really do see his up and downs and his relationship with the whole group, and the whole group's great too. Where it's the five bloods, but you really follow the main core, the four that are left, and Paul's son David, and I love their chemistry together, and I also love the sense of adventure that Spike Lee was able to bring with this film. And I think these scenes, what I love is that they're not quick edited ever, where they have some real parts of adventure that it makes it more realistic, where it's not just Indiana Jones level ridiculous adventure that I love so much. It's more of going in the woods and hiking and going from place to place, And I love that sense where you see, not it's not about the adventure. It's not about the adventure. It's not about the gold. It's not about the war. It's about what the war, what the adventure, what the gold, what all this stuff means for the characters. Paul, Stormin, etc., David, and what this means to them. And again, I love them diving again into the idea of the interest, the hard times for black people in the '60s and now. And I think what I love is that I love that by having the flashbacks, it reflects to problems now and then problems then. Talking about how I learned a lot with this film. Especially when they actually integrated some actual footage from real life events. Makes you learn, because I think it's this idea of learning of where things for this black community was then and then now. And I think was an interesting kind of a way, because I think the flashbacks really, what I love is it tells you, it beyond just showing the war, it shows the war, yes, but it also shows the war and what it represents to this group of people, where it's very much about not the broad scope of the war. It's about everything beyond it. It's the plot, it's the politics of the war, as well as the people involved in the war. Because besides what's going on, I think that's very interesting. Where it's like you can have so much going on. You can have the great development in chemistry between the characters and the present on that adventure for the gold, where they're chased by Vietnamese people. On the other side, you can have, on the flip side, you can have them in the past fighting the war, and them struggling with their PTSD, and see because I think that's a great interpretation of PTSD, when you can see the flashbacks and see it at present time effect, as well as having deep, true messages, true for now, especially watching this today and tomorrow or yesterday or whenever, as well as again learning something. You really do take away something with this film, and take away how times, I guess, have changed, and more or less how the war affects veterans. Because I think we always see the war itself, or we see wartime, but we never see the long-lasting effects it has on veterans in films. And where it's it never was about the story of finding gold, or about the story that they're chased by Vietnam veterans. It was all about the journey, and the journey of these characters finding closure to what's going on and solace to that. And I think a really well made film. Again, there's a lot of slow parts to it. I didn't care for the other characters. I cared for the main group of characters, the Five Bloods and David, but I didn't care for the other guys, the girl, the French girl, and that came along, and the other friends. I didn't care for them. But like some of the Five Blood deaths, because they gave the proper development, it hurt to see Paul die, and the fat one die, and Otis explode, and and they all made all of them feel unique and different. They're not just five Vietnam veterans. They all were different. They gave them all their personality. But again, this film's not perfect. I didn't really care for those characters. And again, because this story was never about finding gold. The stuff with the French girl and her friends, I didn't really care for, as well as the actual Vietnamese people who chased them. But it did offer some great shootouts. So yeah, shootouts, not shootouts. So really good film. Really enjoyed it. Thoroughly throughout. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Stay tuned for videos coming at you.